always amazing how they go to college campuses or debate students. They don't never really have a serious conversation when it comes to reparations in the Black community. Like, this is why I don't pay these people no mind, because they're always looking to argue with you. They're never looking to listen. In case you find yourself in a situation like this brother did with Mr. Charlie Kirk, I want y'all to be prepared and have some talking points, okay? Because it really is simple. It is not that hard, but they make it hard when it comes to the Black community, and I'm tired of it.
The topic I want to discuss with you today is it's on reparations, but more so why there's a bias towards Black Americans when it comes to reparations. Now, I understand that no Black American alive has ever been a slave. I acknowledge that. However, the point I wanted to make is that reparations have been given to other ethnic groups, Asian Americans for their incarceration during World War II, Native Hawaiians, sorry, I wrote it all down, but even former slave owners, specifically the ones in the North that had to give up their slaves. They were compensated for former slaves. However, why is it that when it comes to Black people receiving reparations, there seems to be a lot of pushback to the point where now, now it's almost laughable to even think about Black people getting reparations for something in the past?
Well, for any of those examples, was there intergenerational reparations given?
No.
So they're not necessarily applicable, right? So those were the actual people that received it because a wrong was done to them.
Correct.
We're talking about something 150 years removed. And also, not every Black person is a descendant of slaves.
Correct.
Some are mixed race. Some are able to prove that. But I think more importantly, we should ask the question, have we spent a lot of money on the Black community the last 50 years? And if so, has it worked?
All right, y'all. So I want y'all to pay attention. Charlie Kirk, if you're watching, I want you to pay attention too, since you avoided the question for one. Let's go ahead and get into it. The Black gentleman asked, why is there a bias surrounding the topic of reparations in Black Americans? That was his question, right? Charlie Kirk's response was a few things, but his first response was, intergenerational reparations were never given to the Jewish community. Do a quick clip here where you can easily look up that information and see that heirs of the Jewish community easily get money and get payments as well. Okay? That's a lie. We're talking about something that happened 150 years ago. They always try to do that to you. This is why it's important, family, for you to know your talking points, because you know what? Jim Crow wasn't 150 years ago. Okay? Redlining wasn't 150 years ago. Civil rights movement wasn't 150 years ago. Okay? I can keep going on, but I want to save that for later. But this is why you need to be able to counter these people, because they're focused on slavery only. And we ain't just talking about slavery. Till this day, we are dealing with issues that in your mind go back to slavery, but you skipping right over other important factors when it comes to reparations for Black Americans. And this is why you can't take them seriously. This is why you don't pay them no mind, and let them know you're not intelligent enough to debate and have this conversation regarding my community, because you're doing us a disservice. So stop it. Okay. Next, he mentioned, not everyone is a descendant. We know that. We know that. But specifically, we're talking about FBAs, the foundational Black Americans in America. We know it doesn't apply to all Americans, which is why we have issues with certain politicians who come over here who are immigrants, who are not Black Americans. Maybe they're from the Caribbeans, or maybe they're from Africa, but they advocate like they're for us and they do nothing for us. So you don't need to tell us, Charlie Kirk. We know. Okay? We know. But again, that's not our point. Our point is Black Americans in America, outside of slavery, have suffered systemic oppression, racism, discrimination, and so much more from people, organizations, politicians, governments, etc. Okay? So that is the reason for blacks wanting reparations, Charlie Kirk, since you want to act so clueless and act like you don't know. They be the ones too, act like they know so much history, but they want to leave out the information or the history that's important to the topic because they really just don't want to tell you, I don't care about y'all and y'all fight for reparations. And that's what it is. He don't care. Charlie Kirk does not care. So you don't need to tell us that not everyone is a descendant. Like, duh, we know. He said, have we not spent a lot of money on the black community in the past? And if so, has it worked? How is that you come and borrow $100 from me? I go to collect the money that is owed to me. And you say, nah, I'm good. I ain't paying you that money. I didn't see the way you handled the money. You straight. I'm straight. You gonna spend it how you want to spend it. And I don't really appreciate that. So I ain't gonna pay you the money. I just want to know if you heard what I heard. I don't know. And I feel bad because my brother, he took it in and was just like, yep. And that's what happens when people are nervous. That's why you gotta be hard for the cause. You know what I'm saying? Because you know what? I debate better when I'm angry. It's like, what did you just say? It's like the audacity and the disrespect. I wish I was up there. Because how is that a response, Charlie? How is that a response? How much money have we given the black community? And look at what they've done with it. How is that a response to owing someone reparations for you doing their community wrong? How the hell is that a response? It's not. It's not. It's not a response. But unfortunately, the black man, had to go with it. He didn't know how to counteract it and made Charlie look like he's just the smartest person on the freaking planet. Boy, they be having these people on here making me so mad because they don't be making no sense. Anyway, this is why their opinion shouldn't matter. This is why they need to be inviting us to the table, asking us questions. They should not have a say on the topic because they either play like they stupid and they don't know, or they are stupid on the topic. Either way it go, we need to treat it like such. This man don't know what he's talking about. Okay? So, to Charlie's question, which he said was more important than anything, in the past, when they've given us money, how have we spent it? I would say, Charlie, in the past, how much money have y'all spent trying to tear down the black community? How much money have y'all spent doing the black community a disservice? How many leaders have y'all killed of ours? Who put the crack in the black community? Who put the crack in the black community? Who put laws in place that was taking out black fathers in homes and putting them in jail? Who did that? Like, there's so many things that we can talk about. And they want to talk about how much money did we give the black community. Boy, make you want to slap somebody, don't it? Going on, because that man got me hot. As they always do. Lord, him and what's the other one name? Matt Walsh. These two right here, boy, I think they like paid to be haters. They just give me hater vibe. Ignorance, straight ignorance fly out their mouth the minute they hear the word black. Nothing but freaking ignorance fly out their mouth, y'all. Let's move on, okay? Because they got me hot. Let's move on.
Has it worked?
It's a good question because, obviously there are certain communities in Black America that are not so great. Some of the traumas and problems they have are of their own making. I acknowledge that. Thankfully, I was raised away from all that, 2 loving parents.
And that's the greatest thing that you are, one of the, if not the greatest. And that's my hope for every child, black, white, or Asian, to have 2 parents. That is a ticket to success. Please continue.
But the example I wanted to use was the 2 Tulsa survivors. They tried to, they're aged, over 100 years old. They've tried to sue the Oklahoma government for reparations for their lost property. And they were actually denied reparations. And to me, when I read about that, because that, to me, that was kind of the test to see, like, okay, they say reparations shouldn't go to people who weren't directly affected. Well, here we have 2 people who were directly affected, who were there, and they were still denied reparations. So to me, that kind of confirmed that it was never about who was directly affected or not. To me, it just sounds like there's a bias towards Black Americans.
Okay, I don't know about that instance. I'll look into it. But more broadly, I do want to just repeat the point, and something to think about, you don't have to answer it, that we've spent trillions of dollars on trying to improve the well-being of Black Americans since the 1960s. And actually, Black America is poorer per capita and on average in relation to other groups than it was in the 1960s. So I would argue it's actually not a resource or a money thing. It's a values thing. And the values, unfortunately, that are predominantly in the Black community right now are quasi-suicidal.
Fair point. But yeah, basically, I just wanted you to. I didn't know if I was going to change your mind, but it's something I wanted you to think about.
I'll research the example that you gave, and thank you for watching our content and being a supporter.
Definitely.
Would you like a hat?
Signed hat?
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
God bless.
Thank you, man. It's great.
The main question was, why is there a bias surrounding Black Americans when it comes time for them to get reparations? That was the main question. He listened to the man's example. The man provided a great example for those who did not hear it. Because I was kind of like, what'd he say? But for those who didn't hear it, he was talking about the Tulsa race, or the Tulsa, Oklahoma, when they went to try to get reparations and they were denied. They were directly affected in those Tulsa, Oklahoma riots. And they have proof that the government did it. And they still didn't give them people reparations. So he brought that up as an example of how they are biased towards Black Americans and reparations. Perfect example, right? What Charlie say? Oh, I haven't heard of that. Of course he ain't heard of that. But he want to claim he's such an expert and he want to open his mouth on Black topics. Like, please shut up. Please. Nobody asked you to speak for us. You do us a huge disservice. Like, it's amazing to me. That man brought up a clear example. And then he goes on to just change the whole topic and focus solely on the amount of money that supposedly has been poured into the Black community. Show us, Charlie, where's the money at? Where's the money at? He tried to just make it seem like Black people just got a horrible freaking character. All us Black Americans ain't got no sense. You know what I'm saying? We're not smart. We're just victims of our own mentality, right? That's the way they make it seem. This is why these people don't matter to me. They don't matter, y'all. They don't matter. Because they're not even intelligently speaking on the topic. He brought up something that was completely irrelevant. You owe me, for whatever the reason is. You're not going to tell me. I'm not going to pay you the money. Because I've seen how y'all spent money in the past. Why would I give you the money? Why would I give you your money that's owed to you? Why? Does that make any sense to y'all? Yeah, does that make any sense to y'all? Please, and tell me how disrespectful that is. That is so disrespectful to me. And I love to eat people up like that. Because why are you being disrespectful and playing on my face like that right now? Because you wouldn't tell that to the Jewish community, would you? No, we wouldn't tell them that. We wouldn't say to the Jewish community, well, you're not owed for the Holocaust because I've seen how y'all spent money in the past on wars. You wouldn't tell them that, would you? No, you wouldn't tell them. So as you can see, it really ain't that long of a video. For one, he avoided the man's question. He didn't even talk about it. The man had a great example. He said, no, I don't know about that example, but let me bring up my point, and my take on the topic was completely disrespectful to the Black community. Even at the end, threw in quasi-suicidal. If you're not familiar with that, he's pretty much referring to the Black community and our behaviors being, in his eyes, self-detrimental to ourselves and our community, indicating that we just act crazy and we do all this wild stuff and we have no principle and we have no morals, and the way that we act is a direct reflection of our own selves, and this is why our community is the way that it is. So that was so disrespectful. We didn't even talk about the Jim Crow laws. We didn't talk about that, and the segregation. We didn't talk about the racial wealth gap. You know what I'm saying? We didn't talk about redlining and the housing discrimination that we faced even till today with loans and things like that. We didn't talk about the mass incarceration and criminal justice disparities that the Black community face compared to other races. We didn't talk about that. We didn't talk about the Tulsa race massacre because he claimed he ain't know about it, right? So we won't let him have that. He said he's gonna do his research, but we ain't talk about that. But there's other incidents like the Tulsa race massacre, plenty of them that occurred. Charlie, you got some reading to do, buddy. Okay, because there's no reason to be ignorant on this topic in 2025. We didn't talk about the 40 acres and a mule. We didn't even talk about that. We ain't not talk about the 40 acres and a mule. We didn't talk about the economic exploitation and the labor discrimination that the Black community still faces today. We tried it out with DEI. That didn't work. Every single time there's something, even if it's little, in place that may, I'm gonna say may, because most of these times these things are passed, they don't benefit us. But anyway, anytime something in the Black community is passed that may benefit us, you got people throwing a problem, throwing a fit, having an issue with it. So We didn't talk about none of that. And to answer the question, since Charlie didn't answer it, which was, why is there a bias surrounding the topic of reparations of Black Americans? Brother, come to my page so I can answer it for you, because Charlie ain't gonna give you the answer. Why are you seeking information and advice and responses from Charlie? He don't like you. He ain't gonna tell you that, but he don't like you and he don't care about you. So come here, brother, because I care about you. I'm gonna tell you. Systemic racism. Even Charlie don't notice. It is systemic racism that has been passed through generationally, as he brought the word up, or intergenerationally, to their community. They have been taught not to care about us. You ever heard that saying, they care about dogs before they care about Black people? Brother, you have it. He purposely just took you on a little rope, throw you around, and said, hey, you want a hat? Offered him my hat. Oh, Lord. Thank you, family, for stopping by and having this conversation. Again, just be prepared. Have these talking points. If people ask you, why do you think FBAs or Black Americans deserve reparations, be prepared to let them know. Slavery is one reason why we deserve reparations for our ancestors, okay? But outside of that, make sure you know about the racial wealth gap issues. Make sure you study Jim Crow laws and segregation. Make sure you know about the redlining and the housing discrimination, okay? Make sure you understand mass incarceration and the laws that affected the families back in the day. Make sure you read up on that, family, okay? Make sure you talk about the Tulsa Race Massacre and Black Wall Street. Make sure you talk about situations like that. If they get everybody on board talking about the same thing, with the same reasons, with the same topics, with the same demands, who can vote? Do y'all know how powerful we are? I cannot stand these people speaking up for us, talking on our behalf, thinking that they're invited to the table in this conversation. Sir, if you're going to be invited to the table, the only thing that I need for you to do is listen. Come on now, family. So again, if you find yourself in a situation like this brother did, please be prepared and have your talking points and stop relying on these people like Charlie Kirk and these Matt Washes and these people who ain't skin folk. Some of them you can't even trust if they are skin folk. But stop relying on these people to advocate for us and to fight for us and to give us answers and to talk for us. No offense, but I would never go up to that man podium and ask him his opinions, because it don't matter. What matters is my opinion, because it happened to me and my family and my ancestors. Okay? Learn to advocate for yourself, people. We got to get on board, family. That's it for today. I appreciate y'all for stopping by and having this conversation. Let me know what you think. Do you think that we need to stop asking people their advice and opinions on reparations in America? Or do we need to just create a community for ourselves, excluding those people who look like us? You know what I'm talking about. Where we get together, create solutions, create demands, withhold our vote, and advocate for ourselves.